なんかある。ホルドナクロニクル。ここの部屋は入れない。こっちの部屋は入れる。あ、トム吉お茶爆店ありがとう、サンキュー。うちはしねえよ。やっぱ仕事は疲れるね。疲れるよ、そりゃ働いてんだもん。モトムはどう？いや、疲れより楽しさの方がまだ勝ってる。ともきちのツイッターのリプでも送ったけどさ、試食でパンも食べられるし。なぎなぎお茶爆店ありがとう、サンキュー。閉まっとる。ここに何か他に、ここは開かない。絵がある。
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor. 1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
就職おめでとう、ありがと
う。This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
そう、1月4日からパン屋さんで働き始めましてね。製造の方じゃなくて接客販売の方でやらせてもらってます。ここはなんで開かないんだ。他になんか手がかりないのか。待って、首痛て。
This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
ここまで来た。ここは開く。あ、
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. And come here, and we shall talk.
いや、あなたと話す前に何か調べ物が。モトムンの働いてるパン屋行ってみたい？東京都足立区にありますけれども。
Whenever you're ready, I'd hate to intrude.
観察する？他の入れ墨と異なる。汚れ仕事も厭わない。足立区は治安悪そう？この町くらい？まあ治安、足立区って言っても埼玉に近い方だから行けないところではない？来ようと思えばみたいな。まあ詳しい住所は言えないけど。あ、でもインスタで天使の小麦って検索すればアカウント出てくるかも。そのお店の。冷酷。結婚してる？既婚者。ギャングの入れ墨、ホルスターの銃、硬くなった手、結婚指輪、傷ついた肌。計算高い実業家じゃない、冷酷な犯罪王だよ。そのインスタにモトムに載ってる？いや、さすがにスタッフは載ってない。店の外装とか内装とかパン作ってるところの写真ぐらいしか上げてないんじゃないかな。店長か副店長か社長が写真アップロードしてるから従業員は写ってない。
Bad news.
The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotti, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
I was hired privately to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization and, thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotti?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, and I am compelled to ask why you want it. Who is the man visible in the photograph? An associate?
Not yet, Mr. Holmes. Though with this picture, that may change. The man in the photo is a British envoy on Cordona.
What exactly do you want from him?
My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
あー。これ全部質問していいのかな。こんな髪型にはなりたくないよな。まあね、年取って60、70ぐらいでこんな髪型でいたくないよな。かなりの M 字ハゲだけど。出てきた、オープンしたばかり。まだオープンしてない。オープン日は1月17。で、1月4日から研修が始まって、17日にオープンするの。
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not
あ、
all
本当だ。
smuggling
10
is
時8分だ。
immoral.
いってらっし
At
ゃ
the
い。
generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled
あ、
widely,
また
Mr. Holmes.
ね。
I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
で、最後か。
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp. You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
で、宮殿。うーん。ネイラーは乱暴され、もう少しで誘拐されるところだった。何よりもまず彼女と赤ん坊の安全を確保しなければ。これ、あとこれどこで調べればいいんだろうな。とりあえず出るか。記憶の宮殿。ベルナドッティは公使の犯罪に関する証拠を集め彼を脅迫しようとしている。結論がどうなるんだ。結論どうするかなこれ。 こっちにするか。なんか赤い。ちょっと待って。こっちは。こっちも赤いか。どうしようかな。ネイラと赤ちゃんを優先させるか、制御を執行するか。一人の命よりみんなのあれかな。こっちにするか。これを誰に言えばいいの？こいつか。
I need some time to consider your offer, Mr. Bernadotte.
If you insist, Mr. Holmes. Come back when you're ready to give me the photograph.
まあ写真渡すか。
If I give you the photograph, how do I know you will not come after me?
Mr. Holmes, you are not a threat. The local authorities owe me favors. For all your confidence, you cannot actually harm me. Besides, I like you and your approach to business. We are not dissimilar. Pragmatists to a fault.
Indeed, I cannot ignore the just outcomes in what you have proposed. All right, take the photograph.
You are a hard man to read, Mr. Holmes. I couldn't tell if you actually had it. Fear not. This decision will bear its fruits soon enough. One more thing, Mr. Holmes. Now that I have the photo, you may as well take Mr. Mercurio's painting back to the gallery. Please, send my apologies.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
マーキュリーは死んだ。泥棒は死んだ。
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting too.
Ah, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio, perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
Yes, it's here.
Splendid! I'm most grateful, Mr. Holmes. It must have been a difficult task. Will you share your adventures with me?
I cannot, Mr. Vogel. The story is much like your undergallery. Not for everyone's eyes and ears.
So sometimes you do hide the truth. What has happened to your crusade?
I'm not on a crusade. I simply do not owe you the story.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen to keep secrets, I'll respect it. Besides, the truth is often more boring than the mystery. No?
It is what it is, Mr. Vogel.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I'm told it belonged to your mother.
贈り物は何だ？
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
僕の母について。
Previously you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine.
猿。
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
で、事件を解決しました。次が、小包。屋敷の正面に送られた。その前に他の事件行ってみるか。これも。ちょっと待った、その前にトイレ来て休憩入りまーす。唐突な休憩。少々お待ちを。行ってきまーす。 はい、お待たせいたしました。続きをプレイしていきます。ともくちありがとう。ただいまお帰りお帰りただいま。ただいまトゥルーティお帰り。ちゃんと温まってきたかいお帰り。よいしょ。今何分？あと30分ぐらいか。次の事件が Now？ ありがとう。まあリアルタイムもそうだし枠の時間的にもあと30分ぐらいがキリがいいかな。で地元の音楽教師がスカラディオ地区中央の聖クレメン聖堂の周辺に張り紙を出し盗まれたバイオリンに関する情報を募っている。これ行こうか。とりあえず外出てどっから出るんだっけ。スカラディオ地区中央のクレメンス聖堂クレメンテ大聖堂の周辺に張り紙を出し盗まれたバイオリンに関する情報を募っている。ここ行こうか。
Extra, extra! Painter erased from history. Boniface Mercurio, killed in connection with
you
illicit
able to help me?
gatherings
Nothing I can tell
involving
you,
the
sir,
island's
but others might know more.
aristocracy.
まず新聞買うか。
Interested in some Cordona news? Check the front page. You won't regret it.
で盗まれたバイオリンが張り紙ってこれのことか。盗難に遭いました。私のバイオリンが盗まれてしまいました。楽器について情報をお持ちでしたらスカラディオ地区のアドラー通りの北のプロフェッサー街道にいる私のところへお越しください。どれでも構いません。バイオリンが盗まれた。アドラースカラディオ地区スカラディオ待ってスカラディオ地区のアドラー通りまた探すのか。アドラー通りあったわ。アドラー通り北のプロフェッサー街道アドラー通り北のプロフェッサーアドラー通り北プロフェッサー街道にいる私のところ。アドラー通りがこれでしょ。アドラー通り北プロフェッサーなんちゃら。ほんと字が小さくて読めねえんだよ。プロフェッサー街道にいる私のところ。アドラー通りプロフェッサー街道。これか？これ違うな。プロフェッサー街道がどこだ？アドラー通り来た。アドラー通りここだよな。あ、プロフェッサー街道。これか。
Hello. Refresh your interior. Pick what you like. My goods will brighten up your house.
なんか買ってく？
Enjoy your purchase.
Oh, come closer and try something on. Did you hear Basilio?
金庫。
Did you hear it was...
私の絨毯。くし違う。金庫。OK。有名な防犯用品会社コペロ設備の経営者バジリオ・コペロが逮捕されたという話に興味を惹かれた。彼の置かれた状況は非常に奇妙で、バジリオ氏の店の金庫の中でニコロ・デッティという男性の遺体が発見されたというものだ。バジリオ氏は無罪を主張しているが、証拠は彼にとって不利だ。彼は警察署内の留置所に拘束されている。
In the police. Let's pretend to be cops, eh? We can just stand around.
また新しい事件見つけちゃったよ。その前にバイオリンだよ。バイオリン？スカラディオカイドにいる私のところへお越しください。ここ左？アドラ通り、プロフェッサー通りにいる私って誰？この人？
Is this familiar to you? I'd rather bite a snicker than talk to you.
そうですか。この人？どの人？
I'm having deja vu. This house seems so familiar.
あなた？あなた何してんの？
I'm having deja vu. This house seems so familiar.
この家に見覚えがある？バイオリンの人はどこにいるの？
They have a large assortment and pleasant prices.
この人か？ちげえな。
Help me, please. There is no amount of money that would make me call.
これもまたわかんねえやつだな。アドラー通りのプロフェッサーっつったよな。この人か？
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
So you think if you have money, we should bow to your whims? No, sir.
どこだ？アドラー通りの北のプロフェッサー街道にいる私のところへお越しください。私のところってどこよ？この家じゃないな。
I'm having deja vu. This house seems so familiar.
なんでジョンはそこで立ってんだ？多分この人だと思うんだけどな。この人何してんの？話しかけられないし。バイオリン盗まれた人がどこにいんだよ。まあいいや。他のやつやるか。 これうーん。スカラデオ地区にあるハーパーアベニューとサンダー街道。帽子なんかあったっけ？これかぶってスカラディオ地区。ハーバーアベニュー。ハーバーアベニューどこ？ハーバーアベニュー。サンダー街道。サンダー街道。サンダー街道。ハーパーアベニュー、サンダー街道。これか？ワープした方が早い。あら？どこだ？あー。あ、よこいけいさんいらっしゃいませ。やっほーい、こんばんは。どうも。お茶バク店ありがとうございます。どうもです。スーパー、ハーパーアベニュー、サンダー街道。ハーパーアベニューのサンダー街道がどこだ？これ一回消して、サンダー街道ここだよな。どこだ？交差点の近く。あ、ここ左か。で、あれを追えばいいのか。このまま走って逃げたのか。どこまで行ったんだろう。
Should have known better than to jostle a...
どこに逃げたの？あのマークなんだっけ？周囲の人間に質問するか。あ、いた。
It's all right, boy. You can come out. Your pursuer has been intercepted by Cordona's finest.
I didn't do... Hey, that's my hat you're wearing.
I know it is. I followed you from your magic stand. Are you okay?
I'm fine. You should keep that. It makes you look like the amazing Alonzo. He's the best magician around. It never suited me anyway.
Is that so? Let me take a look at you.
観察する。最近殴られた。服の大きさが合っていない。高価な装飾品。塗料または筆筆記用インク。軽い系がブカブカな古い服、黒い汚れ、細かなジューズ。こっちにするか。
You're skinny, underfed, and bruised from a life of hardship, but you stand straight and proud. You do what you must to survive. Fortunately, you are blessed with a keen mind and have put it to use exchanging insight for income. Commendable for someone so young.
Nah, you got it all wrong, mister. That's okay. Nobody can see like I do.
Clearly. So, tell me, why did you call that man a liar?
Because he is. He told me he's a lord. But no lord has calluses on his hands and sour cabbage stuck in his moustache. He came after me. He caught me with a fist. Nasty bugger.
What did you expect? You embarrassed him in front of his peers and he couldn't admit it. Of course he would lash out. You must be careful how you deploy the truth, Dilwyn. It's a potent weapon, as easily turned against the speaker as it is brandished by him.
Yeah, well, the truth is what people pay me for. I simply notice things others don't. But I think you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, I can do it too. It's called inductive reasoning, and do not let anyone tell you differently.
I never knew there was anyone else like me.
Your abilities come with consequences, Dilwyn. To adults, you're a nuisance. To other kids, a freak. You must learn how to blend in. Bite your tongue.
But I don't want to blend in.
Then they will lock you up. The truth hurts, and the bigger the truth, the further men will go to silence it. Be careful how and when you deploy it.
All right. It was just an amusement.
Yes, nothing like a swift uppercut to really pass the time. Perhaps when faced with the monotony of this world, you will find a place in your mind to explore instead. There is little to gain in idle provocation. Why don't you go to the police and show them your skills? You could become a real detective one day.
They won't take me seriously. Grown-ups never do.
I'm sure you'll be able to impress them, Dilwyn. Just work your magic.
All right. Maybe I'll do that. Catching criminals could be fun.
Before you go, impress me. What do you see?
You're overconfident, as a way to mask your insecurities. You're more vain than you care to admit. And you notice when people notice you. You act like you don't need anyone, because it's easier to pretend you like being alone than to ask for help. You desperately hope to find somewhere you belong. But you never will. Nowhere, no one will ever be enough. And the truth is, you're terrified. You're too smart and too empty inside. You know how dangerous that is, and you know exactly what you're capable of.
Valiant attempt, but alas, you've missed the mark.
Oh, really? Well, what does John think?
Sherlock, did he just...
How? I don't know.
OK、事件解決。あの少年にはジョンのことが見えてたのか。OK、そういや昨日言ったやつ見た？名前忘れて見てない。あ、昭和米国物語か。後で調べよう。昭和の米国物語ね。はいよ。 したらどうしようかな。あともう一事件いけなさそうな気がするから、今回はこの辺で終わろうかな。帽子を元に戻して。昭和米国物語ね。昭和米国物語。覚えた。後で調べる。はい。ということで、今回は時間が時間なので、この辺で終わりにしたいと思います。最後までご視聴いただき、ありがとうございました。次回のゲーム枠もお楽しみに。そんじゃあ、またね。おやすみなさい。良い夢を。